Alright, so my podcast is called The Set List. The Set List is a comprehensive collection of the best cabaret performances in New York City, including the works of musical theater composers, classical favorites, and new musical readings. The Set List features live recordings of off-Broadway concerts, as well as behind-the-scene interviews and conversations with select artists. A new podcast dedicated to celebrating the roots of all young musicals and their creators. Should I just...
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So on episode 1, I interviewed my friend Kaylee Marshall. Kaylee is a composer-lyricist, and she talks about her solo concert debut at 54 Below. The episode features songs from Confirmed in concert sung by Courtney Wolfson from Kinky Boots, Daniel Quadrino from Newsies and Peter Pan Live, Jeff Heinbrook from Newsies and the Book of Mormon. The second episode featured Blake Field. On episode 2, singer-songwriter Blake Field talks about his debut album, Wallpaper. The episode features exclusive live selections from his new album, as well as Blake's musical, The Heat of the Scorpion. Jessica Casca joined us for a few songs. Blake discusses growing up in Colorado, the Young Arts Foundation organization, the influence of pop folk and pop rock in musicals, and even spills his Broadway crush. Blake's album is available on his website. Why it's important. The first thing that came to mind, which actually comes from my heart. Growing up in Miami, it was very, very difficult to even see a show or to hear a show or to know what's going on ever. So every little bit of YouTube I would absorb like a sponge. Sometimes some of those songs get stuck in your head all day when I was in class and so on, and I couldn't listen to them during the day. So I figured, let's create this platform for all these little young kids all across the country and around the world for free. So I created this podcast. It's also cost efficient for all these artists. Most of them end up putting shows up in cabarets because it's so expensive to do an off-Broadway run of a musical. An off-Broadway run can start at $200,000, go up to a few million just for a simple run. And these cabarets are really, really cheap to run. They cost about $2,000, $1,000, and you'll probably make all of it back without making a profit. This also broadens commercial audiences. Just like the kids listening to this podcast or watching these YouTube videos, they're gonna ask their mom, hey mom, this actor or this musical is performing here at the Performing Arts Center in my local town. Let's go buy tickets. So eventually, if they buy tickets to their show in their city, when they come visit New York, hopefully they'll buy a Broadway ticket. It allows fans to enjoy music on the go, which is always really fun. It introduces new talent. A lot of different new composers, like my friend Kaylee. She just started. That was her first solo concert, and now she has a cool platform to be reached to. This song can keep playing. Hope you enjoy. This introduces new talent as well. This guy that you see behind in the background, his name is Dan DeLuca. He started performing at small little cabarets, and just recently he's headlining the national tour of Disney's Newsies as Jack Kelly, which is really, really exciting, especially since he's only had a few regional credits, but these cabarets allow him to be seen by professionals that just come in, enjoy having, just want to have fun. Implementation. All right, so I started off with buying some equipment. A microphone was not too expensive. Booking an artist, luckily Kaylee's my good friend. Blake, I actually got to meet through doing this. I sent him a nice little email. He said, hey, what's up, let's do it. Sounds like fun. He's also a fan of my work and the concerts that I do, and I'm a huge fan of his music. As you can listen, this is one of his songs in his new album. This doesn't sound like any musical that you would hear out there, usually. Usually you'll hear like a nice Rodgers and Hammerstein. Do you guys see Broadway shows? What shows do you see?
Everything.
What do you like?
I'm in the theater district.
You're in the theater district. What shows did you guys see recently? We're in the same room. We're breathing the same air. We can talk.
Last Ship.
The Last Ship? Well, The Last Ship is very folky, and thank God, I was actually talking to Blake about it, how Sting was able to bring his influence of being a big pop star and bringing back those songs into mainstream media, because it's really sad that we don't really have, this is irrelevant, but we don't have big musicals out there anymore on the radio. Hours of editing. I was editing for hours and it was really fun and so on. Listening party and trial and error kind of go together. The first episode that I did, it was pretty much a copy and paste of one of my concerts, and I literally just put concert out on the thing and let it stream. And I sat with a few of my friends that were in the concert, and they were telling me how there's not a big structure in the podcast, and you have to create a structure, so I have to start fresh, and that's where repeat comes in. I'll go back. It's now streaming on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, which is also really exciting. Market validation starts with social media buzz, press inquiries, statistics from my hosting site, and what they are saying, or what people are saying. What's the buzz? Okay, so on the 6th, I put my first episode on the 5th and announced it only to my own personal profile. I got about 145, 146 just likes, which was simple. It's not that much, but it's really exciting and people are starting to talk about it. I got all of these comments from my friends. Amy Rogers is also on here. She's the head of the musical theater program here at Pace, which is also really exciting. She's a good collaborator of mine as well. I like to call her a collaborator. So I also wrote, now you don't have to spend hours illegally downloading MP3s from your favorite YouTube videos. I'll do all that work for you, which is great because then people won't get arrested for doing something, just having fun. Okay, so yesterday I sent my first press release about the podcast to a few websites, and I got picked up by Playbill.com, which is also really, really exciting. I wanted to hold off by sending any press releases because I wanted to see what would happen organically, just by word of mouth and so on from my friends. And it really did peak, and I'll show you later. I was sitting in my math final yesterday, and my phone was buzzing, and my professor was staring at me, and all my friends were like, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm just doing calculations." And after class, I checked, and Playbill tweeted at me, which is also really exciting. They have a bunch of followers. It's also on their Facebook page right here. They wrote a really cool article about me, and I can show my mom that my name's right here. It's really exciting. Broadway World also picked it up, which is also really fun. They're a huge website. They cover pretty much any type of media now, including newspaper and fashion and television and so on. We're going to statistics. So how podcasts work is that you upload it into a hosting site, and the hosting site sends out an RSS feed to the websites that you're hosting them to. So iTunes and Stitcher Radio are the big main ones. So these are statistics that are coming in. It sucks that this got put up, but that says Apple, and other, and Android. So as you can see here, this was the first day. I announced it on my Facebook. I only got 25 clicks through, and people were listening to it. These are full listens, which is great. I'm excited. 25 people are listening to me ramble with my friend and sing songs, which is really fun. But then it kind of simmered down through the week, picked up randomly the day after my birthday, and then it hiked immensely yesterday when I set up that press release, which is really exciting. People are listening to it on iTunes and their phone, which means they're subscribing, which is always fun, which means it gives me a nice little audience cushion. As of yesterday, we got 141 hits on this one alone, which is always really fun. This was the second episode with Blake Field. Okay, so I had something weird happen yesterday where I had to go back and edit, so all of my statistics are a little off. But before I edited it. I had 58 previous hits, which is really cool. And then as of yesterday, we had 85. So a total of 143 of my second episode. As you can see, there was a huge hike yesterday on both episodes, which means people kept listening. So people were listening for about 2 hours on all of their social media sites and on Apple, Android, Safari, and so on. Their desktop as well, and you can see all of this through my hosting site. Around the world, this is so cool because I don't know many people in Asia, I don't know many people in South America or Australia or Asia, and these are people listening all around the world, which is always really fun. And I remember Daria Musk, and she was saying how excited she was about getting her stuff heard and getting fans all around the world. And it's not even about fans. I don't really care about people knowing my name. I really care about them being inspired and like listening to music and buying sheet music and being nerds like I used to be when I was 10. And these are all a lot of the cities that were hit mostly. Brooklyn, New York, the Bronx, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Sydney, Toronto, and Seattle. I think this goes into what they are saying. Okay, so I got this inquiry from Amanda Bowen. She's a marketing agent and a press agent for a lot of different shows. She sent me a Facebook message, which I prefer email, but she sent me a Facebook message asking me to cover one of her clients, and this happened on the 6th. This happened the day of my Facebook. I'm not friends with her on Facebook, so she must have seen it through a share that happened, which is really cool. And word of mouth. On the 6th, the day I wrote it on my Facebook, no press release or anything, I attended another concert I was invited to at like 11 at night at 54 Below. And one of my friends is like, hey, this is my friend so on. And they're like, oh, congratulations on your podcast. Like, I listened to the first episode and I said, cool, who are you? This is amazing. The fact that people that I don't know are listening, I think is the best market validation. People that I don't know, people that I'm not friendly with, that I can become friends with, clients later, and this is really exciting. Thank you for listening, and I hope you can listen to my podcast. It's on iTunes for free, and Stitcher Radio. For more information, you can follow us on social media sites like Twitter, Facebook. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Is there a plan for producing revenue?
Well, I can do sponsorships in order to lower my costs. I currently don't have costs. I'm taking it out of my own pocket. I bought a microphone, and I might have to buy a new computer in the next year, but not really. There's not really much ways to make money off a free podcast. I can sell it, but I want to keep it free for all these little nerds that are tuning. I'm gonna probably do some sponsorships. Hopefully, let me get these numbers to pick up. Let these numbers pick up, and talk to other studios that can record in. All these venues that are getting free press from me. I'll get free tickets.
No, that was very good. I'm excited about your excitement, and this is like great. It just came out of press. Who would have thought a business class would have led to
right?
good stuff.
Well, this was an idea I had a very long time ago, but I didn't feel the pressure, and thank God I had the pressure. I actually thought, I can't do this financially. Like, I'm not going to be able to support it because hosting is not expensive, but it's pricey for a student. But because of all this traction, I think I might just keep it and suck in the bills and just let it grow.
Let me know the dean. I was speaking to him, and he was so impressed with the Ted Levine applications, in which Victor was one of them, that he said if there's people that didn't get it and they're promising, let me know. Let's look at a budget. He's got a little bit
Let's
of
do
money.
it.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about budget. So I hope you like this little shirt because I got all of you guys one.
All right.
I didn't know what size you guys were, so I didn't Oprah and stick them under your chairs. But you can share them, and they're really cool. And I self-made them this morning. So.